Hello, welcome to my channel Diane in Stitches. I'm Diane and this channel's all about sewing. So it'll be what I've made, what I'm going to make, patterns, fabrics and all things sewing related. So if that's something you enjoy, then I do hope you'll enjoy this edition of the video. So this week I'll start with what I'm wearing. This is the Elian Mac Going Home sweater with a loop back French terry that I got quite a while ago. I think I got quite a lot of this actually. I've also made up the Sinclair Harper cardigan to match. I think that's the third garment I've got out of this fabric. It's okay on its own, it just sometimes needs a little bit extra when it gets cooler. And I am actually looking at some more sweatshirt tops and I've been looking at some different patterns and I have actually ordered some. I'll come on to those later. It's just I need something, I think, as I say, a bit higher neck and a bit warmer, sort of more fleecy probably inside, and some trousers I need as well. I have got on my these, if you'll be able to see them properly, these are the what are they, Sinclair Love Notions sunset lounge pants anyway. These are in a these don't stretch at all, so they're a little bit strange, but they're lovely and fleecy on the inside, nice and warm. But I do need more of these sets type lounge wear tops and trousers for the winter, so I'm on the lookout for that. I've ordered some fabric actually, some Ponte Roma from Minerva, which is actually coming tomorrow, and I'm going to make the Pattern Emporium urban pants. I've never made those before, just pull on, similar to these, just to pull on relaxed stretch trouser. But anyway, we'll go on to what I've been doing this week. You can see I'm lining up my next makes. These are some cotton lycras that I got last year with a view to making some long sleeve t-shirts, because that's another thing I'm short of. I've plenty of short sleeve summer's t-shirts. I'm just running out of the only ones I've got apart from this sort of thing. I've got another Going Home sweater and I've got a few other bits and bobs. But my other t-shirts are Marks and Spencer's, or I think I got some from Matalan, which are absolutely going so raggy looking. I need some long sleeve t-shirts. So I got the red denim and the black. That's a separate one. I think I got those. I think they were from Boys. I think they were when we went to York last year, and they were from Boys. This is a cheap French terry that was from Pound Fabrics a few weeks ago, and it was only, I think, £2.95 a metre. I washed them all yesterday, but this is a very, very thin, wishy-washy French terry. It's nowhere near as thick as this one. So I don't know what that's going to be. I thought I'll just get it washed. I was going to do another Jarrah sweater. Come on to my latest Jarrah in a little while. But I don't know whether to just do a cardigan, although I've got a black cardigan, but the Pattern Emporium grabber cuppa, which is very big and bulky and flops about. I'm not 100% with that one, so that might be a cardigan, or it might be some sort of a sweatshirt type thing. So anyway, moving on. This week I have completed my second Jarrah sweater, and in contrast to the first one I did in the most unsuitable rib floppy horrible fabric, this one has actually come out quite nice. Now I did the it comes in 4 different designs, the Jarrah sweater. I'm not quite sure what attracted me to the Jarrah, to be honest. I don't know about anybody else, but these cuffs are just ridiculous. This one which has got it's got like a split in. Let me find the I don't know if you can see it on that one. It has like a split at the end of the cuff. And I did that on the first one and didn't like it at all. And it was, well, you can see it comes right over the hand. And it is a very boxy, it's supposed to be a boxy fit. I'm not so keen on that length. But I just cut off where the slit was and put a cuff on it, and I was doing this one, and then I decided I didn't like that, so I cut those off and did a hem band. But this time I've done this one, and this length looked okay. I was going to lengthen it and decided not to bother, but I did shorten the sleeve, and I was in two minds whether I had done the right thing on that one or not, because it has just come out okay. I probably could have done, I think I only shortened it an inch, but anyway. So I'll put some picture and video up of the finished article. And this was the fabric that Keith's sister bought me for my birthday voucher from Beyond the Pink Door, and I got it's a Ponte Roma, and I got the ribbing. I did a size 6. Now I sort of fall into an 8 on the bust and a 10 for waist and hip, but looking at the finished size, which for a 36 bust, the finished bust and waist, because it's sort of straight up and down, is 44 1/8 inches. I thought I'd just do a 6, and it's a lot better than, well, I think I did a 6 last time. I can't go any lower because that's the only size I had printed with the PDF. Although, having got the paper pattern as well, I could actually, if I wanted a 4, I could actually trace it off this tissue pattern. But it goes, they are pretty size inclusive. They have a standard sizing and a curve sizing. The standard goes from bust, well, it's a 0, bust 32, to a 20, bust 46. But the curve size, it's an overlap. It starts again at 14, which is a 40 bust, and it goes up to a 34, which is a 60-inch bust. So I think this has restored my faith a little in the Jarrah sweater, so I'll probably have a better idea maybe what to do next time. I might give the ordinary one a go. Again, just size down, shorten the sleeves. It's difficult to know how long to do a sleeve when it's a drop shoulder, when it says it's a certain, you don't know quite where to measure from. So it's just a question of trial and error, really. But it's all done. Now, what I did worry about, so you can see that, I'll come back a little bit. You can see I got the matching ribbing, and I've put a neck binding in, but I used one of my Specky Seamstress woven bindings. I wish I'd have done the proper fabric now, but I thought I'd just try and do the woven for a change. It's come out all right. It still slips over my head okay. So there's the sort of knot at the bottom. Now, what I've done with this is, I recalled seeing a video or some comment somewhere about, with it being a white backed fabric, once you've tied the tie, there is a danger of getting the white showing. And I thought, I'm sure I've seen, and I searched high and low to find this comment or solution to making a facing for the tie, and I eventually found a reference to it on Guthrie and Garney. They had a kit for the Jarrah, and there was like a tutorial video included, which was included in the kit of a hack or a tutorial on how to face the tie so that you didn't get the white background. And they do the tutorial separately now, and it was £6. And I thought, well, shall I? And I thought, I'm sure I can work it out. Well, I did a bit more digging, and I did find a photo on Guthrie & Garney's Instagram page, and the picture I saw just sort of was something that I'd got in my head of how to do it. And then I saw a video, a YouTuber, Kath, the name is, madebycathcraft is the channel, and she did a roundup of sweatshirt things. She'd done the Jarrah, and she mentioned about the facing, and when she showed the inside, I couldn't see exactly how it was attached on the inside, and I messaged her, and she did say to me, she did reply and said that from here she had top stitched it down. Let me just undo this and show you. So the inside basically is this facing. So the pattern piece, I'll put this little bit of video in of how I laid it all out. So the pattern piece sort of goes like that, and I just traced part of it and then just cut the bottom off. And then obviously put it right sides together, turned it round. Now she said, Kath did say that she had top stitched all along here. So you would get some stitching showing on that side, but she said obviously she'd used a cotton that was matching the fabric. Because what I did was I just did a little bit of stitching there. And then obviously the rest is the top stitching around the edge. I just secured an extra bit just sort of here between these points. It's not flopping, it's not doing anything crazy, not stitched. It seems to be behaving okay. So I've had it tied up. It's stayed okay. The white's not shown. So let me just put that little bit of footage in, just in case you want to see how I did it. It's just that bit really. It's not very long, so I'll just come back after you've had a look at that. So I'm getting on with the Jarrah sweater in this fabric that I got from Beyond the Pink Door. Got the neckband on, and I've put a specky seamstress binding on the back neck, just up to the shoulder seams. I think I prefer the stretch ones. I should have just done one in the stretch fabric. Anyway, I've got the sleeves on, but before I sew the side seams up, I'm just going to explain what I'm doing here. So I'm doing the the tie front version. Now with this fabric having a white background, if you tied the tie, then you would see the flashes of white showing in as you tie it. Some of the white might be showing. So I decided, and I knew I'd seen somewhere online about a facing, making this with a facing. I searched high and low. I did actually find a picture on Guthrie & Garney's Instagram page, but they do a video on hints and tips and hacks for the Jarrah, which they did provide with they did a kit a while ago, I believe, and you got a video and it showed you how to do this. You can buy the video separately, which is £6, which isn't too bad, I suppose. But then, as I say, I found this picture on Guthrie & Garney's Instagram, which obviously I can't show you because of copyright, but I just basically thought, well, it was what I was intending to do anyway. So all I did was I just traced the front pattern piece. I just traced this bit again, and then I just drew a random line around. I've overlocked that. I thought I'd just get that done before I do the side seam, and then if I shall sew this up, because it is quite well, it's not complicated, it's a bit of a faff also, trying to get these corners right if you're doing it, just turning it in. And they do a thing about mitering it. There is a video or a blog on how to miter it, which I saw on there's a channel I watched, Sewing Bunny. It was Michelle, and she did that, and she did mention about a facing, and I don't know where she saw it either, but I knew I'd seen it. But anyway, I've just sort of cobbled this together as we can try it anyway and see how that all goes. So I shall just sew. The hem is supposed to be 1/2 inch, so about just over a centimetre. So I shall sew a centimetre around, and then turn that in, and then that will form the appropriate hem on the sides here, and continue around with the back, the hem at the back. So this is how we're looking now on the inside. I've turned the facing right side out. I trimmed the corners. What I should have done, if I'd have thought, because I was that concentrating on getting the facing on, I forgot about using my little thread trick on the points. But anyway, so that's all on. I've trimmed. I've clipped into this curve here. I pressed it all down. I'm not sure whether it will survive not being stitched down. I don't know. I'm just going to start. I think I might just put a little row of stitches there just for the meantime, and just see how that goes once it's finished. So obviously now when I'm tying the ties, you won't see the white showing through the tie. So we'll carry on now with a bit more. Get the side seams sewn together. So there we are. That was it's pretty simple to do, really. It's worked okay. So yes, I'm pretty pleased with this. As I say, hopefully I've popped some pictures on of me wearing it, and I'm pretty pleased with that. So the Jarrah has come back up in my expectations. So I shall be probably trying it again, in possibly just the plain sweatshirt style, just try and make it not look as baggy and boxy as they have. But my other patterns that I've got the let me just get my little book. I've been watching vloggers with this Sew House 7 toaster sweater, which I keep looking at and thinking, well, that is right. That is quite a nice style. It's a bit more fitted than the normal sweatshirt. I've got the Nina Lee South Bank sweater, which is very nice. I've made a couple of those. But I just went for it. I thought I'm just going to get this and see, make it up, and it does look quite nice. I quite like the little funnel neck. I also found got them all off the fold line, and I also, on the first page, there was a pattern company I've not heard of before. It's called Sew. It's SEW Sew dot and then Lala LALA. And they had I'll put the picture up. They've got a pattern which is a sweatshirt, a normal sweatshirt, and then there's one with a slightly higher collar and a zip front with a panel, which I thought looked really, really nice. I thought that I quite like that. But it also includes a t-shirt pattern as well. So I thought that was good value. So I've ordered that as well. Not had them printed yet. They're in my book, ready to next items to be printed. And then I also looked again. I've never had a Tilly and the Buttons pattern, and I looked again at this Drew sweatshirt. The plain one I like. It's got a nice high neck. It looks simple and comfortable. But then I had another look at I've seen a lot of people doing the colour blocked one, and I thought, well, that would be possibly a good idea. I've got some bits of sweatshirting left over. Whether they'll all go together or not, I don't know whether I've got enough, because I save things. I've got a box full of things that I've saved, and I don't know whether there's not enough for another garment, and it's too big to throw away, so I just save all these things. But I've got probably some bits and bobs that I could, like some French terries that I could cobble together. But I'm going to check those sweatshirts. I mean, one of them is this that doesn't stretch at all, this blue navy that the trousers are in. We'll see on that one. So I've ordered the Drew sweatshirt. I bought the Drew sweatshirt as well. So I'm all in for the cozy stuff this autumn and winter. So I want to get some fabrics for those. But as I say, I've ordered this Ponte from Minerva. And then I've seen a couple more on Guthrie and Garney, and another one on Beyond the Pink Door. And where's the other one? Sew Me Sunshine. So I was going to order one from a bit, just to get plenty of warm stuff to wear. I've not got much in the wardrobe. It's constantly having to be washed, and I haven't got enough really warm ones. I've got to revert back to some that I bought from Marks and Spencer's, which are a thinner. They are a French terry actually, but they're more of a thinner French terry. So they're not too warm really for the winter. But anyway, it should be okay. So I've got the sweatshirts coming on, because that is what I need really. Some more sweatshirts. So I've actually got a bonus make this week, and I got onto my next project once I finished. The Jarrah Sweater came up quite quickly, and I've moved on. I did mention, I think, this navy corduroy that I got from another boys shop, not too far away, not our local one, but one in a town further, a little bit further away, a much smaller shop, and they just had this roll end of corduroy, so I just bought that, and I thought I'd make with that this skirt. I've made this pencil skirt, and I did the shorts, which was the one I made out of the red vintage denim, and I didn't want the longer one, so I just made this shorter one, and I've made a bit of headway with it, but I've come to a bit of a standstill because I need some buttons. But I'll just show you what I've got so far. So it's just panelled. So there's 4 panels on the back, sorry, and then 2 on each side on the front. So I'll just got to get the buttons on. Well, I've got to buy the buttons and then do the buttonholes and sew the buttons on. I've got to also slip stitch the hem. I was going to do it with my usual method of sewing the band on the inside, flipping it to the outside and then top stitching. But I didn't want to top stitch it. The top stitching hasn't come out. I mean, I'm getting all these little white. I don't know whether it's because it's a cheap corduroy. I don't know, but it's okay, but it's not brilliant, and so I didn't really want to mess about with any more top stitching, so I've attached it on the outside, flipped it to the inside, and then I shall just slip stitch across there, as it says in the pattern. I've also got to do the hem. I have just overlocked it. There's the front facing. I've sewn. They do tell you to just sew far down, leave this bit open. And what they tell you to do then is it's a 1.5 centimetre hem. So they want you to get this turned around properly. They want you to open the facing out, turn the hem down, and then turn the facing in. Like so, and then they're telling you to slip stitch this bottom bit here. What I will be doing is I'll turn that facing inside. Let me just get a pin and explain. And then I stitch across at that 1.5 centimetre line. Let's get this the right way around. So I stitch across at that 1.5 centimetre line, and then turn it, the right way around eventually. And then you get the hem coming out, but this is stitched rather than slip stitched. It doesn't look, you can't get the right idea of that. But anyway, so I turn it right sides together, stitch, then flip it through, and you get the you get that nice sort of overlapped hem. Anyway, so that's sort of on the verge of being done. I think we're going to go into town tomorrow and see if I can get some buttons, although boys haven't been, I've managed to get some buttons, but they haven't jumped out at me. I've not really got the choice that I would have liked, but unfortunately there's no other way other than ordering them online, and then you don't know if they're the right colour or whatever. So that's about it, I think, for this week. These, as I said, that might be a cardigan, or possibly I don't know if it's thick enough, this French terry. It's really, really flimsy, but definitely t-shirts. I'm going through my Pattern Emporium patterns to see which ones would be suitable. The blue is a little bit more drapey, so I think there's one that takes a sort of, it's more of an A-line drape. I think it's the Besties T or something, I can't remember now. Anyway, they should be, obviously just get those cranked out as fast, you know, they're a quick make really. So yes, that's I think I'm all done and dusted with all those. With everything. So that's all I've got for this week. If I get this edited, it's a Friday, I'm home alone. Keith's gone out to Manchester to meet up with his university mates. They have these regular do's, and then we have the big do in November where we all go to the hotel and have a dinner and stay overnight. But he has these regular ones in various places. They've been to Manchester before. They sometimes go to Leeds. There's 1 or 2 are in Sheffield actually, so that's not too far. So I'm all home alone. I've got to cook my own tea. I've got some chicken out, and so I don't know whether I'll get this edited in time for a Friday sews, but if not, then it'll be coming out sometime over the weekend. So with that, I'll say thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please do give it a like, leave me a comment, let me know what your thoughts are on my Jarrah and my skirt. Do consider subscribing, it doesn't cost you anything, and it does help the channel to reach other people looking for sewing content. So with that, I'll just say bye for now, have a lovely weekend, happy sewing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.